And I married my high school sweetheart after he was sentenced to life in prison.
All right, y'all, we're getting into another Love Don't Judge video, and
So this is like a magazine that I made of myself. If I want it, it's already mine. So if I want him to be out of jail, he already out of jail.
is he in jail or prison?
I'm Matriana and I married my high school sweetheart after he was sentenced to life in prison.
So she knew the guy before. Okay.
The hardest thing for me about Manny being in prison is me knowing who he is and feeling like somebody in there and they don't deserve that. You know what I mean?
Is he wrongfully convicted? Now, over here we trust the stats. There's a lot of people who are wrongfully convicted, and there's even bigger pool of people who are over sentenced.
It's the fact that I don't know when he's going to get out. He has a life sentence right now. He's been in there for going on 7 years. In my mind, I was always with him when we was broken up. I just was looking at his charges and just looking at the situation. I'm like, that's not him. Ended up seeing his cousin outside after all these years.
Wait, I'm confused. Like, how long was the period of time from in school when they dated and broke up between that and him getting sentenced? I'm not understanding how long the period of time was, because it seems like she was following him. Like, she knew about his being on trial. Has she been, riding these whole 7 years with him, is what I'm thinking. I thought they reconnected while he was in, like while he was down, like a few years in. I don't know.
Tell him to call me. And he ended up calling me like 2 weeks later. It felt like my heart was literally like beating on my chest. Because it's like, how do you fit 9 years worth of words into this short conversation? I just felt every single butterfly you could possibly.
So it had been 9 years since they dated. And I wonder how long he was in the pen by that point. Was it 7 years? Dang, did he get convicted 2 years after high school? That's crazy. When people get served life and they're younger than when their brain has fully developed, like when folks are like young adults, like less than 25 and they're served life, I look at that situation sideways. I know judges' hands be tied with the way that policies are put forth. Like, what's even the point of having judges? You could just run somebody charged through AI at this point.
I didn't expect for us to get back together right away, at least, but he was just like, I love you the exact same. And literally every emotion I felt, he felt it. And I was like, this is it. As far as my kids go, I feel like we're setting positive examples.
Oh, she took her kids to go see him. I don't know. I don't know if is that allowed? I need to know what state they in. I haven't seen his uniform yet, so I can't really guess. But this POV, this reel right here, I know this went viral because I know a lot of people had comments about this.
He initially proposed to me over the phone. That day was very nerve wracking. I always imagined having a big wedding. I'm satisfied. He could have gave me a ring pop as a ring, and I would have been perfectly fine. I invited my mama over today to talk about me and Manny's relationship.
Told me that she was getting back together with him. I was real skeptical. I made mistakes in the past being with people that's incarcerated and then it don't work out. When he
See, we be seeing these moms. They be the ones that laid the foundation. Ain't nothing wrong with dating somebody that's locked up. Nothing wrong. Now, how your kids witness it, some knots can show up in the thread.
You need to think about the reality.
So, what was your concern when we got back together and you realized he was in jail this time?
When you sentenced to life and you're like less than 25 years old, I feel like a lot of men get to this place where they're like, oh, I never really got to try all the flavors of the rainbow. I never really got to sow my oats, when that's not a necessity to being an adult. But for some reason in American culture, we've skewed our thinking to believe that.
I never knew him to be like a thug. So when I heard about the cases or whatever, I'm like, oh no, people change, And I just didn't want you to get into a situation and regret it. I want to know that your future is bright.
But I do think if worse comes to worse, I'm still enjoying him now. This is still what's making me happy in these moments. I don't feel like it will ever be a waste because I'm being loved the way I never thought somebody could.
I want you to support your husband. I never tell you not to support
Right.
him or not to be there for him, but as far as you goes, like, you know, I've been married before, I'm divorced. Mm-hmm. And I lost myself in that marriage. However, I don't want to spoil the energy or nothing like that, so I'm gonna support you.
I wonder if she was married to somebody who was incarcerated, the mom. She's giving the same energy that the mom was giving in the first video that I reviewed on this. You know, I've done this before. I know you've seen me do it. I don't want to put no negativity on what you're doing because you are married. And I respect you, and I don't want to sever or hurt our relationship by really speaking how I actually feel on this. I want you to continue to keep lines of communication open with me on this. So I'm just going to dilute my delivery that I wish you would have been more careful about settling on. Did she talk to her mom before she got married? We know, was it the second or the third girl that I reviewed? The lady who got married over the phone. She didn't tell her mom nothing. And her mom was pissed. But I wonder if like these women just aren't telling their loved ones prior to the marriage. And then they just throw it on them that they marry. And now it's kind of like, well, my hands are tied. I couldn't even be a part of this coming together. And all I can do is support you at this point. I think her mom is kind of hurt that she was not there for the wedding. And who knows, maybe they weren't allowed to have nobody there. What if the witnesses had to be the COs? That would be shitty. Like, I can't have my own witnesses. I got a corrections officer on my marriage license.
As soon as he's out and they see that he is the man that he said he was going to be, it's going to be like, wow.
You can tell that these moms are like, I just want more for you. But you think that you're getting everything that you deserve. And I know as your mother, you deserve more. This girl had a crush on this guy in high school. It didn't work out, and he's always been the one that got away. So that was another Love Don't Judge video featuring a young woman who got married to her high school sweetheart post-conviction and is now hoping that though he has been served a life sentence, that they will be able to live a life on the outside. Quite an interesting tale. I really like reviewing these because it gives me an opportunity to just share a little bit of my knowledge and expertise as it surrounds the prison system in the United States. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Don't hate, it's not good. I gotta tell her. Don't hate, it's not good. Just let me. Don't hate, it's not good. Oh, alright. Don't hate. Every time you try to say something to me, you make it seem ain't got the time to speak before you skip it. I'm seeking peace, ain't got the time to waste the extra mental space. I got the power not to let you impact my mental state.